is as simple as this. We are not good enough in attacking areas. In defensive areas, okay, I give Madrid credit. We defended well. We pressed decently for, I think, the very first 35 minutes or so. But apart from that, where was the creativity up front? And I've heard content creators online saying, oh, look at the positives. Real Madrid have had better field tilt. Field tilt. That's from Bernabéu HQ. May I remind you, talking about field tilt and possession stats and passing progressively. Progressively. Where did we pass progressively at all? Trying to look at the positives when the negatives outweigh them all. And that is as simple as that. Will told me, how can you actually break this team down? Well, we're going to have to find a way because, unfortunately, we have other teams to worry about coming up very soon. We got Getafe away. We've got to play Barcelona. We've got to play Sociedad away. These type of teams, I'm telling you right now, if they set up exactly the way that Osasuna did, we are going to find problems. It's as simple as that. And when you have a player of the quality of RODRYGO sitting on the bench, looking absolutely gormless, looking into the sky and wondering, what do I need to do to get a game? Then we have a major problem here. We have a problem with the managerial attitude on choosing VINI and selection over RODRYGO. When in this kind of game, you see Osasuna are literally just camping on the edge of the box. You need players that can work in those literally tight spaces there, pass, move, create opportunities. VINI, countless times. I couldn't count how many times Carreras and Xabi Alonso, thankfully enough, mentioned this in his press conference, his post-match press conference, about Carreras making overlapping runs and VINI not seeing it. How can VINI be so blind by his own ego that he has to do everything himself? Carreras is making overlapping runs around you and you can't see him time and time and time again. What is your problem? VINI, tell me, what is your fucking problem that you can't see a player running around you so many times to create openings? And Carreras was in great positions to make that and then actually put a cross in or try and pass inside the box dangerously. Time and time and time again. What is his problem? And then Brahim Diaz on the other side doing not exactly the same, but facing towards goal, and you're consistently passing backwards. Try and work a ball into a dangerous area when you find space and time. Why are you consistently passing back to Trent and trying to work it with Valverde? Trying to work it with Tchouaméni? What is your problem? Try and pass it to Mbappe for once. Try and truly give and go. What is that? What are you doing in those areas? I'm serious now. This front three cannot be allowed to play again. Just from that match. Because they are useless together. Mbappe tried to create space for himself. I give him that in the second half. He tried to do that. He tried to actually conjure up some type of form of attacking opportunity. And guess what? He did. By winning the penalty. I looked at the footage again. It's debatable if it was a penalty. He looked like he actually stamped on my man's leg, essentially. But he fell over. I think he got clipped and he went down. Went down like a sack of potatoes. And guess what? Won the penalty, and that won us the game. If it wasn't for the penalty, we wouldn't have won that game. Osasuna could have been there for 360 minutes and not conceded a goal. You think we're going to go to the Metropolitano like that and try and score a goal? Do you know what that match reminded me of? Let me tell you. The second leg against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Exactly that. And then also the first leg against Atletico Madrid, where we tried to work an opening, but guess what? Obviously, Rodrygo got the goal. Great stuff. And we tried and tried and tried. But unfortunately, Real Madrid are horrid at breaking low blocks down, because we don't have a player that is gifted enough to go, okay, give me the ball, watch this, and glide through the players. Guess what? Yamal did against Inter, where Inter were winning, and he said, okay, give me that fucking ball and watch me work. Guess what? Pretty much single-handedly gave Barcelona that fighting chance in that Champions League semi-final. So where is our players? Where is our version of Yamal to do that? Guess what? He's sitting on the bench. He's sitting, wasting away, because Rodrygo's technical ability allows him to do that. You are faced with Rodrygo, you are going to get skimmed alive on several occasions, especially on that left-hand side, when his dominant foot will be able to actually carry the ball outside, inside, and be unpredictable. VINI does the same thing over and over and over and over again. He consistently tries to carry the ball on the outside of the defender because they're showing him on the outside, of course, and he has no weak foot ability. So what's he going to do? A Trivela, try and cross the ball. What's going to happen? Nothing. He made one pass pretty much into the box. One pass. And Mbappe scuffed the shot. That's it. There's nothing else that he did all game. People are talking to me about Vini's pressing when he had an absolutely shocking game. Footmob gave him, I think, a 7.4. I wouldn't give him in a 1. A 1 out of 10. That's how bad Vini was. You're talking about pressing stats. You're talking about this. You're talking about that. Come off it. Pressing. The defense is reliable. Carreras yesterday was one of our best players on the pitch. Believe it or not. Dean Howson, he was one of our best players. He was the one, Bernabéu HQ, making those progressive passes. That's what he was doing. He was the only one, essentially. He was stepping up the field and then passing out wide, passing in the centre, doing everything he can to open the doors and actually quickly rotate the ball. Not, okay, here we go, back to the sideways, backwards. That's what we were doing. A horrific attempt at breaking a low block. What can we do as Madrid fans but sit there and die of boredom? Be bored out of our lives, because this game here, not good enough by any stretch of the imagination. But I hear Madrid fans coming out saying, we got the 3 points. Whoop-de-doo. We got a win. What happens when we face Atletico Madrid? You think they're going to allow us to score a goal? You think that's going to happen? When they're going to be exactly the same, they're going to defend for their lives, and they have quality up front. That's the missing piece that Osasuna didn't have. That's the missing piece. Because for us, looking at that match yesterday, guess what? We have no attacking quality on the wings. That's the problem. And when you do, in Atletico Madrid's side, they can cause problems. Mbappe can't do everything by himself, unfortunately. He can't do everything by himself. He looked off the paces as well, Mbappe, a little bit. But guess what? He won the penalty and he scored it. So what? Well deserved for him. But unfortunately, we were shocking. Big time. That's our first match of LaLiga. And people say, oh, he's only had a few games pre-season. I heard Alonso in the press conference say, we've only had 2 weeks pre-season. Bro, you had the whole Club World Cup to prepare. You realise that Alonso has had 8 flipping games with his team. Al Hilal, Pachuca, Salzburg, Juventus, Dortmund, Tirol, and Mallorca, and Osasuna now, and also the match behind closed doors with Levante, with Leganés. 8 games now, and you still can't work it out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That a team that plays on a low block fashion, you can't work out how to break them down. You keep on insisting on playing VINI. You've played VINI every match. It's hopeless. You think the Ballon d'Or affected VINI? I think it did. Rodri equally deserved to win the Ballon d'Or. So why is it affecting you? Why is Real Madrid boycotting the Ballon d'Or? Why are they doing that? Because VINI, the marketing man, didn't win the Ballon d'Or. This whole team, if it's centered around VINI, we have lost all hope of winning anything. I'm sorry to say this. We've lost it. We've lost all hope. And it's going to come down to this. Can Alonso win this title by playing trash football? That's what it is, because unfortunately, apart from a few games, Dortmund first half, we have looked actually substandard. If you look at it on paper, Juventus is exactly the same. Juventus sat back deep, and people actually glazed that performance. Whoa, we had so many shots on target. Most of them were outside the flipping box. You understand that? So I'm lost for words, honestly. From that performance yesterday, it is broken. It's a broken Real Madrid, and we need to fix up quick. That's all I need to say, guys. Time to end the stream, Dave. A la Madrid. Y nada más, and we'll see you next time.